Hi, my name is Mark McCleskey. I'm a national political consultant here at McShane LLC. We help candidates raise money and then invest it in a way that dramatically increases their chances of victory. That's why we work closely with our clients to develop tailored fundraising plans that cater to their specific needs and help them raise the necessary funds to win. Our team also assists with creating effective messaging and campaign strategies that appeal to the voters and improve a candidate's chance of winning. If you're looking for a political consulting firm that can help you raise funds, develop effective messaging, and win elections, then we're the right team for you. Let's talk about how we can help you achieve your goals.
All right, it is time to welcome our friend, the man behind GeneValentino.com and the Grassroots Truthcast, Gene Valentino himself. Welcome to State of the Nation, Gene. Gene, I didn't even go through half of the Trumpian headlines that I have today, given, I'm going to my favorite news sources, which are many, but across them, I'm noticing a very big theme here. What are you seeing out there today?
Good day, Hesh. Good to see you. Well, we're looking at 5 weeks of testimony, aren't we? And I'm trying to filter out what's hot, what's not. Well, aside from a few stormy, salacious episodes and a few trip and falls by Michael Cohen, I'm trying to figure out where the justification is for this problem we've experienced, this selective prosecution, which has taken on a historic precedent worldwide. The world gets to see the first criminal case in plain view against a former president. Should it be that if evidence comes forward equal to or greater in significance against Joe Biden, will there be the same level of prosecution now against Joe Biden if, and I say that carefully, if evidence comes forward showing equal or greater criminal wrongdoing? 160 days until the next election, Hesh, and I've got a few observations. I'll just wait for you to jump into them. But one that really stands out is that the DA has not met the burden of proof in the New York case right now. And the linchpin in the case has been totally destroyed and eviscerated, Michael Cohen. The key factors don't fit, so you must acquit. I've heard that before somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. The gloat. What'd you think about that one? By the way, I think we've got Timothy Shea dropping in here with a combat landing, ready to join us as well. Timothy, welcome. We've got our friend Gene Valentino online. Okay, Timothy's not quite here yet, Gene, but he will be here momentarily. But what do you think about the new acronym there? I'm not sure who coined that. It may have been Jim Hoft. He wrote the headline, but the gloat, the greatest liar of all times, being foisted on Michael Cohen.
Yeah, it is the greatest liar of all times. And so if it is proven to be such an extreme lie, and that we've given so much news media to it, not to mention legal expense, then what is the real issue? I think it's easier to polish feces than to claim this Donald Trump has gotten a fair trial. There is no such thing right now as a fair trial for this case. I don't care if you like Donald Trump or not. Frankly, that's not the point, Hesh. The point is we've got to make sure our judicial system, the last of the three legs of our democracy, are holding up to pass judgment and to get rid of the feces and to clear the noise and to get back at a true judicial process that makes sense for every American in the United States. I have lost my confidence, but my trust, I should say, but I'm beginning to see the door swinging back the other way. And I think our democracy, our constitutional republic, has withstood the test of time and the pressures imposed on it by a criminal administration.
It does seem to be sort of one of those cases where, the pressure has started to create a diamond. I don't think we're quite there yet, but as you said, it doesn't really matter what one thinks of Donald Trump himself at this point, because what we're seeing, as you rightly pointed out, is the attempt, the manifestation of changing liberty and justice. And I'm sorry, Gene, but I know you are too. It's a sad commentary, but liberty and justice right now are in the noose, and people are starting to see it. But luckily, it's sort of a slow motion gallows pole release, right? Enough that people are starting to say, "Wait a minute." Even people at CNN are saying, "Wait, I don't like this guy, but could this happen to someone that like me or someone that I do care about? Like, this is not the carrying out of justice."
Yeah, there's got to be well, on justice specifically, and as you first brought up related to this court case, New York versus Trump. Remember, the government must still prove that Trump intended to violate the federal election law. None of this has surfaced yet. All this salacious diatribe of Stormy Daniels and angry Michael Cohen for not getting appointed by Trump to a senior position when Trump went to Washington. It hasn't surfaced yet. They must find beyond a reasonable doubt, and that's the key term, that Trump was hiding something if they intend to prove his guilt. I see millions of problems with this case, and I believe that the prosecution cannot overcome the shortcomings they've laid out for the nation and the world to see.
And Gene, I've got some good news for you, pal. I heard what you were saying about Joe Biden maybe getting prosecuted if equivalent evidence comes out of his crimes. And I want to tell you, you've got a future in stand-up, young man, and that is how you can defeat Bidenflation.
I would ask for only one few
as a comedian, because of course there's going to be no prosecution of Joe. Come on.
Well, then do me a favor. I ask for one favor. Get hold of our friend Donald Trump and tell him I got a great suggestion for VP. Me.
I would love to see that. Now, what do you guys think of Bobby De Niro out there pining with all of his legalese? And, the line that captured me the most was him talking about Donald Trump has never thrown a punch and he's never taken a punch. It's like, Bobby, aren't you an actor? Don't you have a stunt double?
Yeah. Yeah, Mr. De Niro he now falls into the category of has-been. I am insulted by his chastisement of Trump that has done scores more for New York City and state than Robert De Niro ever could. I'll be honest with you, my wife and I have trouble watching his movies now for just this kind of crap, because now I'm going to look at it, I'm going to be thinking about his comments in today's diatribe with horns and anti-Biden screaming going on in the background. He's trying to take on a citizen who took him on for the cheap allegations he's made against Trump. Now, he's getting what he deserves and what he asked for, because now he's proven to all of us that and I used to be an actor, I'm a member still of the Screen Actors Guild, but I'm embarrassed by the level of leaders in the Screen Actors Guild who have done nothing but destroy the credibility of our government by taking cheap shots, not only at the Donald Trump issues, but at the system in general. We need to protect the judicial process. And California alone right now has their hands full with Gavin Newsom trying to now back off $25 an hour out there because they've got a several billion-dollar budget crisis. But back on point, guys, you really do say it correctly when you talk about the system, the door swinging back the other way, and that if we're going to apply justice, Trump or no Trump, we best apply it evenly and fairly. And here's what backfired. The Democrats thought Hillary and Barrack, forget Biden, he's too stupid. Hillary and Barrack that preceded Biden had this orchestration in place a decade ago with George Soros, and we're seeing the outcome of it now. Regrettably, the door will take just as long to swing back the other way, but we see in plain view our democracy, our constitutional republic surviving. And I do think this is going to be a pivotal point for a next generation where we're seeing in plain sight Democrats becoming Republicans or independents, and many questioning. They're in panic mode right now. The only reason Robert De Niro, Hesh and Tim, you're seeing De Niro is because they're in panic mode looking for their best supporters to get some sort of alternative counterpunch out there. Trump has brought forward solutions. Every time, mark my word, just pay attention in the next 24 hours. Everything out of a Democrat's mouth is vitriol, anger, and counterpunching. It's not dealing with the worries and concerns of you and me and the billions of people, like our economy, like our border, like inflation, like incentives to get more people back to work and being productive. Where's that conversation on the Democrat side? They can't even help us balance a budget, for God's sake. How are they going to worry about economic development like Trump had done unilaterally? And this whole argument, this is my final point. Are you telling me that Trump could single-handedly close this border down, which he did? But when Biden is asked to do it, he's got to go through a litany of regulation through Congress and stick it on Congress to make it happen? That's immigration. Those are laws. Yes, our immigration laws need to be improved. But that didn't stop Biden from opening the border up wide and free for these millions of people to be coming over the line to destroy. It's nothing more than intentional, nothing less than intentional. It's totally intentional that these Democrats, and Biden's the puppet, are taking down this nation. If you want more of the same, vote for Biden. If you want to bring it back to the way it was just 4 years ago, you know who I'm talking about.
All right. Excellent. GeneValentino.com is the website. The Grassroots Truthcast is where you find Gene doing his thing. And check the website because he always pulls clips from these interviews and other places where he does appearances, and make sure that's all up there. So GeneValentino.com is your hub for all things Gene Valentino. Gene, any final thoughts before we got to let you go?
Just keep your eye on the outcome the next 2 days. Well, let's see how the jury responds to Trump. I fear a complete I hope for a complete exoneration or acquittal. I fear that there's going to be many people on that side of the fence that are going to be paying a future price.
Yeah. All right. Excellent. Well, we'll keep an eye on it. We'll have you back to help us keep an eye on it. This is State of the Nation at today's News Talk, TNT.
Throughout history, the spirit of patriotism has prevailed. The battles may have changed, but the values remain the same. Today, in 2024, we find ourselves at a pivotal moment where the call for unity, freedom, and a better future echoes louder than ever. For more than 10 years, Patriot Mobile has been committed to supporting the values that make our nation great. With affordable plans and reliable nationwide coverage, Patriot Mobile is not just a wireless service. It's a call to action for those who believe in the American dream. Because this year is not just any year, it's the most important year since our nation's founding. Choose a wireless carrier that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.